because the more that you can get still, the more that you can get centered, the more that you can get calm, the more that you can then start to feel what surrounds you. And these are things that you can realize, actually, there's never nothing coming to me. There's always everything and so much coming to me. When it comes to the foundation, once we've got ourselves really into this space of feeling who we are now, is now to remember that you are a creator. Because everyone is more than likely going to say, oh, I'm not a creative person. I'm not an artist. I don't do music or things like that. And I know that I come from that kind of background, but all of the things that I do to create things going forward, I'm using the same things. The outlet is just very different. To start collecting evidence from your own life of what you've done over the years. If you can go back as far as possible and find the things that you used to make when you were a child, bring those together and look at the journey of what you've done. And in particular, if you do have things that you did when you were young, I would really cherish those things, because that's when you were just doing it for the sake of doing it. You were in that purest state where you didn't really mind about what anyone said that you did, and people welcomed what you brought because they were just excited that you'd created something. Be in the question. So the foundation of you being in that creative flow, or being into the flow of receiving from your intuition, is to stay in the question, is to keep asking, what is it that I'm doing? What can I do? How can I do it? What do I need? What do I need to learn? What else can, and just keep asking these open-ended questions, and don't worry about not having the answer there and then. All of these things, you'll find that the answers will come from places you couldn't even imagine. Then as soon as you get into the state of, no, I can't do it, it's impossible, it's not for me, I can't, you have blocked yourself. You are a creator. So the fact that you're saying that I'm blocked, you're blocked. And then you'll go, yeah, but I'm blocked. I'm like, yeah, because you said you're blocked. I'm blocked. I'm blocked. You said you're blocked because you're blocking yourself, and you're experiencing a block because you're so powerful enough to decree that you're blocked. So if you want to experience life as a blocked person, keep telling the story of being blocked. The creation in itself is great, but it's the experiences that you have. It's what it makes of you, because especially when we're putting things out there in the world, there can be no greater self-development tool than your own creativity. Because one, you have to be super self-directed. You have to be very much believing and connected to yourself and to your spirit, more so than anybody else. To be able to stand in the face of criticism, which is when you're putting things out into the world, whatever you're creating, people are going to have an opinion. They're going to want to tell you what you feel. And the only way that you're going to be able to go past that is to be centered in yourself and know this came from somewhere else higher than this person who's telling me their opinion. This came because I was shown that this is something I've got to put out in the world for some reason that I don't yet 100% know. Is it to help me? Is it to help others? Is it a combination? So when you get those whispers and those ideas, be it something small where you're just like, maybe I should move the chair from that corner of the room to that corner of the room, or maybe I should walk a different way to work, or sometimes you just get these little knowings or these little ideas that drop into your mind, and oftentimes we will brush them aside and go, no, that's crazy. Well, this is again another thing that I'm inviting you to do, so that we can start to build on our intuition, because oftentimes your intuition is going to be telling you stuff that will go counter to what many people are telling you is right or should be done or can be done. What if we want to pull back and go, this situation that we're going backwards and forwards with is not creating anything new other than more division and more stress between us? What if we pulled away, and when that system doesn't work, we can create a new one? Because the more of us who get into our creative confidence, the more of us who can really feel into what it is that we can create, whatever that looks like, because the world needs a reset, and in the good way. and you can be part of all of that by bringing in what it is, your expertise, your experiences, the things that have happened to you that you've celebrated, the things that have happened to you that may have actually broken you down and you had to rebuild yourself from that. Think again, if you want to go back to the gathering evidence of where you've recreated, of the times in your life where things have broken you down and you never thought that you would get up again. And all of us, I'm sure, have people that we admire for their artistry, for their creativity, for something that they've put out in the world. And the reason why those people stand head and shoulders above anyone else is because they've done something different. They dared to go against what the grain was and what the status quo was, and they did something different. In that's why we can name their names. That's why their songs are sung. That's why we remember their speeches. That's why we use their products. That's why we use their businesses, because they did something different, because they followed something different. I don't know who's silently watching me, or who's silently listening. You don't know whose life you're touching by doing what you're doing. And sometimes it's not just about doing it because you want to touch someone's life, but to just kind of make room for the more to come through. As you do one thing, more things will come through. If I hadn't have done those initial things that I did as a child, I wouldn't be here today. If I hadn't have written that song, I wouldn't have got the next one or the next one or the next one. If I hadn't have put the podcast out, I wouldn't have got another one, another one. If I hadn't, it just kind of opens like a dam of creativity, and you get more curious about who you can be and what you can be and how much more you can do, and you develop yourself.